Ball positions. Where in the stance is your ball going to be placed at address? And it's for a specific reason. Most of the tips are teaching you to remember the ball positions, where I want you to understand the concept and the purpose behind ball position. Each golf club is designed to sit flat on its sole. So that means it has a lie angle from this direction and from loft's direction, meaning if it sits too far forward with no loft or too far back with way more loft. All right? So when you sit it flat, that's its design angle is meant to be held on. So that means this is right here the shaft lean you want to present at address. So if you were to just try to flatten the club out, I like to run it back and forth across the turf a little. If you get a little too forward, you'll feel the leading edge dig. Too back, you can see the loft up. Heel too down, you can feel the heel digging. Toe, you might feel the toe dig. But try to feel it flat. And you can look at this in a mirror to see what shaft leans look like. Keep that shaft lean that you need with each club, and then set your feet in a certain way that keeps that lean. With wedges, that would be more equal step. But each club has a specific lean that you have to reestablish at address more or less. 9-iron. I had 4 clubs I showed in that little thumbnail. So again, this is its flat. So this is what the shaft lean would look like. So you kind of see how I just tried to hold that shaft lean. And it sits almost relatively in the center, slightly ahead of the center. So when I address a ball, always feet together is a big rule. All right, I don't want players coming in all sloppy, waddling in with their feet apart however they feel like. No, you're going to address the ball like crap. So you come in feet together, get the shaft lean correct, aim the club face, step for the ball position body alignments. If you look, it's probably a little bit ahead of center by about a ball, because then the shaft isn't leaning as far forward. All right, when we get to like a 3-iron, I basically say the old notion of what Nicholas said, where there's 3 general ball positions, or even some players said 4, more or less, as long as the shaft leans are correct. This is probably one of the most neutral shafts, the way that this sits flat on its sole. All right, the 3 wood's probably the most neutral. So being that it's neutral, it wouldn't be back in the stance. Again, it would move more forward in the stance towards my front left foot. So feet together, I get this thing looking much more neutral looking. Step. All right, that ball stays much closer to my left thigh, left heel now. All right, and that's the correct ball position as then I would swing through. Driver actually is the one club people always address wrong. They put it in the middle of their stance, not realizing that not only is the shaft forward pressed, but the sole isn't sitting flat. The toe is up in the air instead of the club sitting, again, flat on its sole, meaning this shaft leans back to hit more up on the ground. So you really have to learn to get the toe side to sit on the ground more. The biggest difference there is instead of leaning my hands more forward and I have more inflection, I bend them more backwards instead of forwards. Backwards, so that back of the club will sit more on the ground. So you leave it like that, where that shaft is now a little bit behind the club's face. My hands are behind the club face. Step. Now that shaft leans backwards to hit more up on the ball. Not really the idea of my spine angle that has to lean backwards there. More at the idea of the shaft is more a little bit closer to neutral and slightly behind the ball. But that's how we determine ball positions. All right, ball position for a lob wedge, middle of the stance. Shaft lean stays relatively most forward. Step. Execute. Hold that finish. Good. And bite. Okay, not bad. Right, ball position for the 9-iron. Shaft leans about here. All right. You set that up at address. Boom. Easier to focus when I'm just talking about one thing. Pretty. Good shot there. Virtually no shaft lean is the 3-iron. Nope. It might work. Look at that. I take it back. That was a great shot. That'll work. All right, so it's leaning backwards. That was a good one. Good one to end the session on. Perfect. Give me 306. I finish on 299.